The following production is produced by the State University of New York College at Oneonta.
Good evening and welcome to this week's episode of Inside Red Dragon Sports. I'm your host, Geoff Hassard, Assistant Director of Athletics and Sports Information Director here at SUNY Oneonta. And tonight we have invited into studio head men's and women's tennis coach Bill May, along with a couple players, junior Lizflammen and sophomore Danielle Boyarsky. So please stay tuned after the break, and I'll be joined by tonight's first guest, head coach Bill May.
What makes D3 special is the ability to participate in my team and within the broader community.
The perfect ending to a perfect season.
Being a D3 student athlete has completely expanded my life.
I learned how to lead. I really found a voice.
What time is it?
It's more about the experience rather than just a sport itself.
Without the experience of being a Division III student athlete, I wouldn't be the person who I am today.
NCAA Division III. Discover, develop, dedicate.
Welcome back. Joining me now in studio is head women's tennis coach Bill May. Welcome back, Bill.
Thank you. Good to be back.
Well, first, before we start talking about the women's team for this upcoming fall, just like to first say congratulations on your spring season with the men. You were conference champions again. And you had Player of the Year, and you won all 9 singles, all the spots, singles and doubles, and you were Coach of the Year again. So, you know, before we go any further, just wanted to say congratulations on a fine season in the spring for our men.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
This upcoming fall, right now we're kind of in the middle of the season. The fall season is almost like it's here and gone for women's tennis, even though you do play some matches in the spring. But the SUNY tournament is during the fall. Why don't we talk a little bit about that, preview it a little bit, because this episode will show before the tennis championships. How do you see us this year? Who are the players to watch?
Well, hopefully our players are the players to watch. We have a very strong conference, a very good tournament every year. And this year, like last year, we're hoping to surprise the other teams in the conference with our play. If you compare where we're at right now this year compared to where we were last year, I think we're way ahead of schedule. Last year we had a great tournament, and I anticipate we're going to do it again this year. Now,
last year we finished 3rd overall. We actually jumped over Cortland. We've had this whole SUNY East and West. Tennis changes every year how they play in the conference. But this year they went to an East-West format. We had a round robin at Cortland. We came away 1-2. We defeated Plattsburgh and then lost to Cortland and New Paltz. Is dual match different than tournament play? Give us some differences, because if you get the right draw, you can go through the bracket and you can end up being a champion, even though in head-to-head team-wise, it doesn't work out that way all the time.
Right. In dual match play, all we're really trying to establish are seeding positions for the conference tournament. And so dual match play really just gives us an opportunity to see where our players are at compared to their immediate opponent. In the conference tournament, it's all flighted events. One singles players play against all other one singles players. And there is somewhat a luck of the draw factor in the conference tournament. We seed 2 players at each bracket, and there are 8 players in the bracket, so 6 players are randomly selected for the position that they have, and it could be a lucky draw, a favorable draw, or not so favorable. We just have to go play.
Right. It seems like in some of the years, some of our top players, obviously in our flights, would seem to be matched up like against the number 1 seed or the number 3 seed, and like you said, I mean, they may lose that match, which puts them out of the tournament, but another draw and they might be able to advance.
That's right. Last year that very thing happened with Oneonta and New Paltz. There were probably 3 or 4 positions where New Paltz was the number 1 seed, and we drew them. And we peaked at the right time. We wound up beating New Paltz, I think, at 3 or 4 of those positions, and advanced and almost caught New Paltz for 2nd place.
Right. Now, this year, how does our Let's go through our singles lineup first. Who are playing 1 through 6 right now?
1 through 6 is Danielle Boyarsky, and you're going to see her in a little bit on the show. Danielle last year played number 5 singles. This year she has moved up to number 1 singles, and she is 4-2 and has already defeated New Paltz and some other very good players in the conference, having a remarkable year, just a remarkable year. At 2 singles is a returning player, one of our seniors, Emily Shannon, and she was all-conference last year. At 3 singles is Carly Smith, also a senior and having a great year. 4 singles is Dana Denenberg. 5 singles is Carly Freed. Carly was an all-conference player also at one time. And number 6 singles, we're still trying to decide who that player might be. We're not quite sure. It could be Carly Freed. I'm sorry, Lizflammen is our number 5 player, who you're going to meet here in a little bit. Our number 6 player is up for grabs. Carly Freed is one that may get it, as well as 3 other players, so it's very, very close.
Now, when you determine those 6 spots, for people who aren't familiar with tennis, you participate in what we call a ladder tournament, where someone can challenge 1 spot. Can they go 2 spots above where they think? Maybe they think they can beat somebody 2 players above?
Well, in college tennis, you have to play the person immediately above you when you challenge. You can't jump over people, okay, unfortunately. That allows for different style attributes to come into play quite a bit. But we do a round robin. We set our lineup based on how everyone competes within that round robin. And then as opportunities arise, or I feel like there's a need, we do some challenge matches.
Now, for doubles, who's our doubles lineup right now? Who are the pairs?
Doubles lineup, number 1 doubles is Danielle Boyarsky and Emily Shannon at 1 doubles, and they have done really a great job this year, and they're getting better and better each match. Carly Freed and Carly Smith are number 2 doubles team. Last year they had match point in the conference tournament to advance to the finals, and they already played that team that they lost to this year and defeated them. So they've improved. They're a strong team. And then Lizflammen, and her partner is Lauren Skolnick, a new player for us, a freshman. And Lauren really has done a tremendous job in doubles. And over the last couple of matches, she showed that she's not a bad singles player either. She's coming on strong.
So she's part of, we have what, 2 freshmen we added to our squad this year? We have, yes, 12 players?
12 players.
We had, as you mentioned, we had 5 all-conference players last year from the SUNY, which again, I mean, that's the most we've ever had for women's tennis, and I think that was kind of special for the ladies to accomplish that. I mean, how does that look this year? I mean, can we have 5? Is it going to be tougher? I mean, how do you think that'll play out? We could have 5. We could have more. Our ladies are ahead of schedule compared to where they were last year, and they're competing at a higher level. And so I think by the time tournament time comes around, as long as we're healthy, right, we're going to compete and we're going to surprise teams. Now, along with some of the other things you do in our department, you do teach some physical education classes, and you also are our STAC coordinator, our student athlete academic coordinator. Talk a little bit about that program and how that fits into our overall program of athletics, being a student athlete and the academic excellence.
Oneonta State does a great job of attracting very good students. Even very good students need some help sometime in classes, and so we have quite a few programs that really assist with that. We have our CADE program, the Center for Academic Enrichment, and they are kind of the umbrella that allows our student athletes to enroll in free tutoring. And then in terms of what I do for the STAC program, we are trying to develop a program, an athlete-to-athlete or student-to-student tutoring program that kind of mimics what CADE does, but also allows our student athletes to tutor each other. And I think that'll be a very successful program. I don't think anyone understands an athlete's schedule and their unique demands as opposed to, well, compared to anyone else other than another student athlete. And so when we get student athlete to student athlete together, they tend to work it out, and it provides our student athlete with a way of kind of showing some other students, you know, how best to get something done, and it benefits everyone, really.
Now, during the recruiting process, you know, you have student athletes who obviously visit the campus and show them around, and you do get our student athletes involved, members of the tennis team. I mean, what kinds of things, you know, do you talk about, you know, to say, you know, Oneonta is a great place to come?
Well, we mentioned our CADE program, we mentioned our athlete-to-athlete program. We also really try to do our best to communicate with our professors on campus. We have I think, an incredible campus for our professors and student athletes in terms of cooperating with each other and making sure that our needs are being met. We want our students to go to class. Yep. We want them to also communicate with their professors when there's a conflict. And I think our professors here at the college do a great job with that. Our student athletes also do a tremendous job. And we continue to revise and improve as we move on.
Right. And do you get a lot of feedback from the students who are in that that are involved in the STAG program? Because of course it's a class that you teach. It's INTD
110.
And it's really like an introduction to college, where you may work on study skills or resources or how to go to the library and find what you're looking for. Talk a little bit about how that program you think enhances, because we do try to incorporate our student athletes who, like you said, they might be at risk. Maybe they're just trying to learn about college as a freshman. So
that is a great program. That's a great class. The INTD 110 class introduces to student athletes really an umbrella of services, not only academic service needs, but also counseling needs, health needs, all kinds of things that really will help student athletes, new student athletes to the campus, be successful. And student athletes, when they first arrive as freshmen, face a lot of new challenges. It's a new place, new coach, new people, new professors. Everything's new to them. And so we try to put together an umbrella of services that will help them be successful. The INTD 110 class is just one of those things we use to help possibly our most at-risk students.
Now, do you talk about that when you're recruiting prospective students? Some of those other classes, like if a parent asks, what else is there for my student? They might have a hard time in classes in the beginning. I mean, do you talk about any of those programs?
We do. We talk about those programs as well as some other programs, mini courses that we have, like Prof 100, that is a reading and a writing course, and other programs also that are designed to really just be tailor-made to meet someone's needs.
Right. So it's really about the total package. I mean, the student athlete in Division III it's participation, it's trying to be great at a sport and great in academics, and I think with your program we certainly see that with the players that you have and the academic success that you've had over the last few years, and certainly moving up another spot in the conference tournament, and hopefully this year we can move up one or maybe even two.
Keep going. It really is about balance, and that's what we're trying to strive for, is balancing not only your academic studies with athletics, but all the other things that are special for college student athletes.
Right. Well, and we certainly wish you good luck in this year's SUNY tournament, and thanks for coming by tonight.
Thank you.
All right. Well, I'd like to thank head women's coach Bill May for coming by tonight, and please join me after the break, where I'll be joined by junior captain Lizflammen.
My pot of gold, your daddy's little girl, till heaven home.
It's easy to tell if you've had way too many. But what if you've had just one too many? Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Welcome back to the show. Now joining me is junior women's tennis captain Lizflammen. Welcome to the show, Liz.
Thank you.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
I'm a junior. I'm a family and consumer science major. I am captain this year and also our SAC rep.
And where are you from?
Setauket, Long Island.
Okay, out on the island.
Yeah.
Child and Family Sciences, what is involved in that program?
It's kind of like a home economics teacher.
Okay. Is that what you're hoping to, you want to be a teacher?
Yeah, I want to be a teacher.
Okay, you still have another year. Have you gotten into your education classes? I know that when they get into your junior year, it kind of becomes a little crazy and stressful.
Yeah, I'm in a lot of education and educational psychology classes right now, but I don't start student teaching until next year.
Okay. Now you're going to be going through student teaching when you, next fall for tennis, or?
I'm going to be in student teaching in the spring. I'll be in methods in the fall during tennis.
Okay, so you still have a full year left with us, which is good.
Yeah.
What attracted you to Oneonta? Why'd you come to Oneonta?
The team. The tennis team, definitely. Most teams that I visited, their teams were like falling apart, and when I came, everyone was like very welcoming and nice, and definitely wanted me to be here. So.
Now, when you were when you were visiting or whatever, when you came on campus, some of the programs that Coach May talked about, I mean, were those of interest as well? Some of those academic programs that we have, plus maybe the facilities that we have on campus?
Definitely. Having the new athletic facility and the new workout room and the track, the indoor track, was definitely an eye-opener to me because I love to run. Yeah. And Coach's class also to learn study skills and just be more prepared for college, definitely.
Right, so you found that that was very helpful for you, that INTD 110
Definitely, yeah. Definitely a good class.
Now, high school transition, a lot of times, coming from high school to college, was that a big transition for you?
It wasn't that big of a transition just because I came from a big high school. So I had a graduating class of almost 800 kids. Wow. So it was pretty much similar class sizes that I had, except for my lectures were a little bigger. But
now, playing tennis, last year you were an all-conference player, one of our all-conference players, one of our 5. What did that mean to you as a college tennis player to be able to reach that?
That meant a lot to me. It was a highlight, definitely, in my career of tennis. We weren't sure how we were going to do in the conference tournament, especially because I'm always sick during the conference tournament. So that was the first year that I actually wasn't fully sick. So I was really excited to be playing, and my partner and I were just like, let's go for it all.
Right.
So.
Now, last year, who were you partnered with for?
Oh, sophomore year?
Yeah.
I was with Jennifer Cram, who transferred.
Oh, okay.
So
and you guys were second
in the conference.
Yeah, second in the conference.
Second.
Yep. Now, this year, team, we have a couple new players, but of course we have a veteran squad. Last year we finished 3rd. What kinds of things do you think might happen for us? We've already played some dual matches. We've got the conference tournament coming up. What's your outlook as an one of our experienced players?
I definitely think it's neck and neck. Even though we lost to New Paltz and Cortland and Geneseo, every single match was so close. It really could have been tossed up either way. I think now we're like a little more of a slow starter, I feel. And now that we've seen them, we've played them, and we know their style of playing, I feel like we're going to go in the conference and do really well this year.
So you kind of look at our team as maybe kind of that late bloomer type. They'll, at the end of the year we'll peak and be ready to go when the conference tournament starts.
Yeah, that's usually we surprise everyone in the conference tournament.
Well, that's always good to be able
to.
Now, some of the other things on campus that you're involved in, you said that you were, your team SAC rep. How's that going so far?
Really well. We had our first meeting the other night.
And how does that look for the year? I mean, is there, I think we have, one from each team now? Is that?
Yeah, it's one representative from each team.
And do you look at that? Now, that's another leadership role for you within your team. I mean, being a team captain, how do you see yourself as a leader? I mean, is that a lot of responsibility?
It's a lot, but if you organize your time, I find that it's not that difficult to do both.
Now, how do you like to lead the team? Are you a vocal leader? Are you a lead by example?
I guess a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
I'm pretty vocal, and also I like to get out and get things going. So also by example, I guess also.
So do you think that those, being a team captain, being involved in SAC, of course, Student Athlete Advisory Council kind of, pairs up with CHAMPS and all the events that we do there, and certainly you've been involved in all those community service type events. How do you think that helps you when it comes time for looking for a job in another year?
It'll definitely show them that I'm organized, I want it all, and I don't know.
I mean, do you think it highlights leadership skills? I mean,
definitely.
Leadership skills, do you think those are important elements to have on your resume when someone's saying, this person over this person? Because obviously it is pretty competitive out there.
Definitely. I have a feeling if someone doesn't have leadership skills, they'll definitely look at mine and be like, oh, she wants it. She can control a big group of girls. She can have them have practice. She can organize her time for them to be doing certain activities at certain times. And it's just a lot of organization and taking control, and that's basically what you need to be a teacher. So. Right.
Now, do you look as yourself as an extension of Bill? Trying to, like you said, organizing the team and maybe doing some practice stuff? And
yeah, I mean, we all communicate, the 3 captains and coach and we all communicate together, and we try and each separate what we're each going to take care of for the team.
Now, what else on campus might attract a student to come here? I mean, some of the other activities that are going on campus, because of course we our campus is pretty vibrant during the year. I mean, there's a lot of things going on. There's
Yeah.
movies and games and all kinds of stuff. I mean, what one thing would you maybe highlight for someone who might be looking at Oneonta?
I don't know. A lot of kids have been really attracted to the new My Kitchen, which I think is really cool because it shows that there can be, like, they tell you about your nutrition, and I think a lot of kids are into going to a school that they can eat right.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that's a big thing to attract athletes.
Now that My Kitchen sort of kind of a hidden thing that came out last year, and most of our athletes have been able to attend and see what it's all about. And of course, we have a nutrition website that links from our main athletic website, where athletes can go for information, whenever they want it on performance and that kind of stuff. So,
yeah, the new website is definitely great.
Well,
there's a lot to do on there.
Well, we hope there's plenty of information for everybody. So, what are you looking forward to now? Only got a few weeks left in the fall season. What's the goal? Team, individual?
I'm looking for us to come in at least second for SUNYACs. I'm really looking to get up to second this year, and for us to have a lot of finishes in the SUNYAC tournament, a lot of first placers.
Right. SUNYAC champions would be awesome.
That's what we'd like to see. So.
But certainly having all conference players is just as special because it means you're one of the top players in our conference. So.
Yeah.
Well, we certainly wish you good luck in the coming weeks.
Thank you.
Stay healthy.
Thank you.
All right, and we'll see what happens.
Thanks.
I'd like to thank Lizflammen for coming by this evening. And after the break, I'll be joined in studio by sophomore captain Danielle Boyarsky.
WUOW 104.7 FM is the region's premier radio station, offering award-winning programming from National Public Radio and Pacifica Radio networks, giving you the chance to become more informed about the arts, information, and entertainment from around the country and around the world. WUOW is your community radio station. Join us and support the sound.
Welcome back to the show. Joining me now in studio is sophomore women's tennis captain Danielle Boyarsky. Did I say that right?
Boyarsky.
Okay, it's always the W. It's the
okay.
W that trips me up. But welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
My name is Danielle Boyarsky. I'm a sophomore here at Oneonta. I'm a meteorology major, and I love to play tennis.
Yes, obviously, because as we had Bill on the show earlier, moving from single spot number 5 to number 1 is that's quite a jump. I mean, I know Bill said that in his 20 years of coaching, he doesn't have anybody that's really jumped like that in a year. So certainly it's a testament to your commitment to the program and commitment to your teammates and your training. What does that mean to you this year to be the number? I mean, everyone knows the number 1 tennis player is the number 1 gun.
I'm actually kind of surprised. I know it's surprising that I'm surprised, but I didn't work out too much during the summer. I was working a lot, but I wanted it. And I remember saying to my mom, like, oh, I want to be number 1 this year, and now I'm number 1. It's just crazy.
Yes, well, certainly paid off because a couple weeks ago you were our athlete of the week.
Thank you.
And how exciting was that?
Very exciting.
Yeah?
Yeah. Had a good weekend in Cortland. So.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. You beat you beat the girl from New Paltz, who was a SUNYAC finalist, I think, the year before, or in the top 3 or 4. I mean, she was a good player. She's been their number 1 for a couple of years.
I think I just got lucky that day.
No, it's not lucky. You've got it's a skill. It's got to be some
skill.
Sophomore on our team, captain, which is unusual as well, being a sophomore and being a captain. How do you view your leadership on the team at such a young, age as far as tennis goes and on the team?
I think it's different that the older girls, and I'm just so young, but I can do it.
And what do you think that'll do for you down the road? I mean, being a sophomore and being a captain, I mean, certainly looking forward to your last 2 years here.
I can only grow from here.
Well, that's what I mean. You got to think that it's really kind of a growing thing, and we had Liz on the show and talked to her about her, how she likes to lead, and her thing is, she likes to organize and be involved. And so, I mean, do you see yourself in that role as well, or maybe kind of being mentored by the older captains?
Yes, Liz and Emily are great captains. They know what they're doing. They're very sociable. They can convey their ideas to the rest of the team very effectively.
Because Emily's been a captain for a couple years as well.
Yes.
I believe she was a captain when she was a sophomore.
Oh.
So I think she can relate to that as well, being young and trying to lead a team. you know, because of course we were growing back then, and of course Coach May's done a great job of growing our program where we have, you know, right 1 through number 6. I mean, 5 all-conference players last year and jumping up another spot. I mean, is that exciting as well?
Very exciting. I'm so excited for SUNYACs.
Now it's coming up close. How do you look at that overall as a team and maybe individually?
As a team, we're going to be toward the top. I mean, if we don't get second, we're going to go first. Geneseo better watch out. Yeah. Individually, it's going to be completely different from last year, from 5 to 1. Like, competition is 10 times harder, but I'm just going to go in and fight and try my best, and hopefully I can help with the team. Right,
but now, of course, you do have, you know, playing all these teams, and I know that's why Bill schedules them all, playing all the teams in the SUNYAC. It actually gives you a chance to see who you're up against or who you might play, and kind of gives you a view of maybe what you might be able to do next time you play them. Do you see that as an advantage the next time you might play, you know, the girl from Geneseo or?
Yeah, definitely. Take notes too as to what their strong points are, what their weaknesses is, and trying to capitalize on that when you see them again.
Now, so we're hoping to get to the top. Geneseo is the defending champion. Of course, you know, New Paltz, like we said. I mean, if you get the lucky, well, you can't luck. If you get a good draw, and we get to play some of the opponents that we think we can get by in the early rounds, I mean, we could have a whole lot of finalists and champions if things work out the way we hope they do.
That's what we're aiming for.
Well, we certainly hope that you all get there. Now, meteorology. So do you want to be a weather person?
Yes, I do.
You want to be on television?
Yes.
So this is actually good for you today.
Mm-hmm. Hopefully I'm doing a good job.
No, you're doing fine. Meteorology, what made you think meteorology? I mean, of course, because everybody doesn't like the weather people because they're always wrong.
All the time I hear, how do you like to have a job that you're always 50% right? I'm like, well, I mean, it's not what we do it for. But I was good at science in high school, and I think weather is interesting. So
now we have a very good meteorology program here. A few years ago, one of our captains from our 2003 women's soccer team, national champions, she was a meteorology major, and she went on to get an advanced degree down in Florida, and she's working in the industry. So maybe after the show we can
get her number,
connect you with her, because she certainly would be someone who could definitely help you, grow and prepare and get ready for it. So, I mean, what about meteorology besides, the whole television being on the news and all that? Like, what really interests you? I mean, is there something? I mean, do tornadoes? I mean, are you just involved and interested in weather?
Hurricanes are my thing.
Hurricanes.
It sounds kind of silly, but I really like the beach, and hurricanes are just interesting, and they affect us.
Yeah.
More than we think, like Hurricane Katrina and all that stuff. So
now, do you learn all about that, like how because a lot of it works on what, barometric pressure, and whether pressure goes up, down?
There's a lot to meteorology. It's actually really hard, but yeah, there's just so much to know. And
so you're hoping that do you think someday you might be a specialist? And because they have on the Weather Channel, they have these shows, like these tornado chasers. And do you look at yourself as like a hurricane chaser? Or?
Actually, we had a bunch of meteorology students in the spring go tornado chasing.
Wow.
Yes, and I did not go, however, but I heard it was a lot of fun. And I don't think I'm the tornado chaser type.
No?
Maybe like the stand on the beach hurricane type, but no.
Someone who will be giving a live report as the wind is sweeping across you.
That's what I'm about.
Standing here, I don't know why, but I'm
yeah.
Well, we certainly, someday we hope to see you on another television show, not this one particularly, but we certainly wish you good luck for the rest of the season, and certainly continued growth. Again, congratulations on moving up where you are, and certainly hope that you can be a SUNYAC champion this year.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for coming on.
Enjoy your show.
All right. Well, we thank all my guests tonight, head coach Bill May and Lizflammen and Danielle Boyarsky for coming on tonight. And we'd like to also remind you again, our new website, OneontaAthletics.com, for all the latest news and information about our teams. And certainly become a fan of our Facebook page, our Fans in the Stands Facebook page. And with all social media, you can also follow us on Twitter at Red Dragon Sports. So certainly I want to thank everyone again tonight for joining us, and hope to see you next time on Inside Red Dragon Sports.